Halloween's over, Alex. But we're still in a costuming mood, so we thought it'd be fun to put on some spandex and go fight crime.
And kick your ass, boy.
Unfortunately, we got our ass beat because we know nothing about martial arts nor crime fighting.
Well, you did. I know Kung Fu.
Alright, cheers fucking Neo over here. Welcome to Mike's Camera Action. I'm Carl.
I'm Alex.
And today we're talking about Kickass.
Yeah, it's the very start of our No Theme Vember month.
I called this out last week. I was like, Alex wants to call it No Theme Vember, and I say no. But he's going to keep calling it that, and I'm just going to keep calling it Mike's Camera Action. This month in November, we're doing movies. Special guest movies.
Special guest this week is the movie.
The movie itself, which is a really fun movie. Like I really like this one.
I maintain that this movie is basically what a comic book movie should look like. Though.
Yeah, you think so?
It's got the right amount of vibrance.
Okay.
So when I was watching it, there's always some hint of color on something.
Oh yeah.
Like whether or not it's like even what does he call himself? Big Daddy or whatever?
Yeah, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, like the belt is like the yellow. It's
bright yellow belt.
Yeah,
like on the
bright
classic
yellow.
Batman suits.
Hit Girls, like the purple stands out.
Yeah.
You know, Kickass has the green, but also the yellow stands out a little.
Green with like the yellow accenting.
Yeah, the yellow accenting really stands out. But even when it comes down to some of the backgrounds, like I remember when they're talking about business, Mark Strong's character sits down and the couch is a bland sort of brown leather couch.
Yeah.
Except it's got these orange cushions on it that make it just pop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's like these little accents of color that really play up to the whole fact that this is a comic book movie. It's bright. It's very pastel too as well. It's not like the brightness, say, that like you'd get out of just a normal comedy film. It's a very like pastel, bright, color based film, and I love it.
So what do you think? You're saying like this is how a comic book movie should look. What do you think of the like comic book animated interlude then? Do you think that has much of a place?
Yeah, it's got a bit of a place. You were talking about the Daddy one. Where
the Big Daddy part where it shows like the comics, like his drawn out comic. It's got sort of 3D.
Yeah, I didn't mind that actually.
Yeah?
I felt like it really fit in with the way they tell a story in the film.
Yep.
Like, because earlier you see him and he's drawing D'Amico's face.
Yeah.
Like you see the drawing of D'Amico and it cuts back and it's Daddy doing it, Nicolas Cage's character.
Like his murder board of like the criminal organization is all in like comic book art style.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It really fell within the narrative, especially with the character context.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I thought like it's a bit weird to have it just kind of happen once, but I think of all the places for it to happen, it's kind of in the right spot.
Yeah.
Because the two times we kind of see that style is the one time it fades from D'Amico on like the board to then his face.
Yeah.
So you get like that transition where it cuts between. And then there's also the Big Daddy origin story.
Yeah.
Where I think like that's the only point we really get an actual origin story aside from like the movie itself about Kickass. So that's kind of like it does have that kind of place of like, oh, okay, this is the part where we like meet, like this is the part where like in Spider-Man 47 when they introduce this character and then they give you like the rundown of his backstory, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I really felt like it fit in with the story that they were trying to tell. Like, considering the whole thing with Big Daddy is that his origin story is comic book-ish.
Yeah.
Like, being a cop that got framed for a crime he didn't commit is very comic book.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just liked it. It really fell in with the narrative.
What does Big Daddy do with his life? Like, how does he have the money to afford the secret bunker full of guns and all the guns on the wall?
Drug dealing.
See, he was an honest cop. Then he went to prison for drug dealing, and then he started dealing drugs while he was in prison.
I assume so. Or he just robs everyone that he kills.
That's fair.
I mean, like,
I just take what's in the guy's wallet.
It's like, all right, $50. All right, that'll do for now.
All right, that's a couple of rounds.
And then it turns out, then he finds where he lives and robs the joint. Or he's a hitman for money. Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, he's much more like revenge plot motivated.
Yeah.
He's not a hitman of any kind. His entire shtick is he's trying to take down D'Amico. Mark Strong's character, Frank.
Yeah, Frank D'Amico.
Like the most
Yeah. He's just not even... Frank D'Amico is just there. It's bizarre. He's not like... I wouldn't say he's especially like violent or like especially...
Well, he gets that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of the interesting thing about it, is it starts off this movie starts off in a very real world.
Yeah.
Where Kickass shows up, and then he's just some kid who gets his ass beat by a couple of criminals.
Yeah.
And gets absolutely destroyed. And the villain of the movie is just he's a crooked businessman.
Yeah.
He's still got like some he's still got some criminal activities. Like his dude's a drug dealing, but he himself isn't a supervillain.
He's basically just a mob boss.
Pretty much.
But I feel like it really fits in, like, but then you have elements of, like, with the microwave.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, there's no lumber, so I don't care about the lumber.
Yeah. I really like, when I think of this movie, for some reason, like, the moment I think Kick-Ass, my mind immediately goes to that scene.
Where they microwave the dude.
Where they microwave a Russian dude. They're just like, yeah, bring in the Russian dude. Hey, boss, we don't have the vice, but they got this industrial microwave for treating lumber, and then they just stick a man in it, and he pops.
Yeah, he pops.
Like, he's sitting there like, I can't hear you, and also my head's ringing, and also I'm exploding.
Yeah. And then I like how it goes from, who sold you our Coke?
Who sold you our Coke?
Our Coke. And then he, like,
Coke.
gestures to, like, snort. Like, spoons to the nose.
And the guy can't hear it, and he's just sitting there shaking while he's in the microwave.
And then it cuts back, and he's, like, sighing, but then that's when the head pops, and everyone just kind of laughs. That's my favorite bit, is that, like, he's like, damn it, and everyone else in the background's just laughing at the fact that the dude's head popped.
Not just his head, his whole body.
Yeah, the man exploded. I don't think they understood how microwaves work. They heat from the inside.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, he looks fine. He seems like we're interrogating him, and then he just liquefies. Man soup.
Yeah.
Human slushy.
His blood boils and pops.
Gross.
Yeah, Kick-Ass is just one of those films where, like, it's interspersed, like, that amount of, like, the real world nature of the film, like, followed by this bizarre, like, not quite realistic universe.
The violence in this movie is really well done and really visceral. Like, there's this moment when, like, Kick-Ass when he first starts out and he's trying to take on those guys robbing the car, like trying to steal a car. And it's like that moment of, like, he's just flailing wildly and we're seeing him, like, look like an absolute lunatic. But he's, like, in the zone and it's like, oh, yeah, this is a crazy kung fu bit. Like, oh, it's so cool. And then he just gets stabbed and it's like, oh, fuck. Right.
Yeah, he's just a kid.
Yeah. And then after that, like, just any time when, like, someone gets genuinely injured in this, it's really, like, visceral and really cuts hard. I think the best scene for this is when Big Daddy's clearing the warehouse. That's actually a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Just the entire, like, that sequence where it's like, it starts off as a recording, it cuts to, it transitions through the screen into what's happening in the warehouse. And then it's like, it's kind of like the illusion of a one take.
Yeah.
Where it's all like one fluid motion, but the camera, like, the camera doesn't, like, move so much.
Yeah.
Like, it follows Big Daddy, but they cut seconds of it. Where it's him moving to the next guy. So each, like, sort of beat really has a lot of punch to it.
Yeah, like, it's that sort of stuff that I really enjoy. I didn't realize it at the time, but David Graham, the director, also directed Kingsman 2, and one of my favorite films, Stardust. And Kingsman especially sort of had that vibe to it as well.
Yeah.
Except real visceral violence.
Kingsman was a bit more, like, it didn't quite have that, like we're saying with the warehouse scene where it's like cutting.
No, but I mean,
out.
like,
it was a lot. Yeah, but it definitely has a lot of that punch to it.
Yeah,
when
anyone gets injured, it's very
really
visceral.
hits hard.
But it also falls in with that weird amount of, like, when everyone's head starts exploding at the end of the first Kingsman film.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like the
it's
the
like
super
the
harsh violence. Scene. Yeah, and in super harsh violence, not just that, but like with the head explosions, it's not even like brains splattering everywhere. It's like colorful fireworks for heads, which is just odd.
But yeah, like, I really feel like his style really worked in, like, trying to make a comic book film.
Yeah.
Which actually Kingsman is.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Kingsman's a graphic novel.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, so, like, with Kick-Ass, let's move back to Kick-Ass.
Yeah, back to Kick-Ass. Back to the movie.
Kingsman is another time. We'll have our whole, like, David Graham month
okay.
later. We'll talk about all his films. I really enjoy his films.
Sure.
They're also making a Kingsman 3. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll look into it.
But yeah, so, like, with Kick-Ass, though, it really, you're right, like, everything felt visceral.
Yeah.
Like, but only when they sort of felt it, because, like, when they were beating up what's-his-face, because he can't feel pain.
Oh, which one's this?
when they were in the cafeteria, he's just sitting there and they're just smashing
Oh
him.
yeah, they're just hitting him, like smashing him over the back with a tray.
And he just sit there like, all right, yeah, okay. His head moves because it's like the force, but that's it.
Yeah.
That man needs to probably go see a brain surgeon.
Well, he did. That's the thing. Kickass's superpower is just he got the shit beat out of him.
And now he can't feel pain.
Well, he feels pain. It's just like the way he describes it is like they couldn't fix a lot of his nerve endings in the process. So he's got like a whole bunch of metal pins in his his bones, and he can't and he doesn't always quite get like the same pain receptors come through.
Yeah.
So he misses a lot of it.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right.
His superpower is he has a slightly elevated ability to take a beating.
Yeah, like
which sure enough,
it suits him well because he's just a dumb teenage kid.
Yeah, it's like a crappier version of Luke Cage.
Yeah, he can't take a real beating, but man, he can take a kind of a beating.
He can, like, if you hit him really hard, he mightn't cry.
Yeah, you can stab him and he may not feel it.
I mean, he feels it. Like,
yeah,
I gotta say the like beat down, like almost execution scene. It's really painful to watch.
Yeah.
I just don't like seeing one person get wailed on by 3 people helplessly.
Yeah.
That really gets a rise at me. It's just like, oh, fuck. Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. I like the idea that this is sort of one of those worlds where it's Batman-esque, like sort of thing. Like it's the city is full of crime.
Yeah.
And so like normally if this was Gotham.
Well, it is New York. New York has a pretty high crime rate, so I've heard.
I've heard it's gotten a lot better.
Oh, it would have been like the crime around a lot of the Western cities at this point. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, so it's like one of those cities where, you know, crime is rampant, and like if this was an actual comic book, as Kickass says, it's like if this was a comic book, there'd be a superhero.
Yeah.
But there isn't.
But there ain't
This isn't a comic book.
Yeah.
Until Kickass
Kickass shows up, and then like it becomes kind of more comic booky as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
As people, at first, a guy shows up in a wetsuit and then he gets stabbed and run over by a car. Yeah, that's what would happen in real life. Is a crazy guy shows up in a wetsuit and he gets the shit kicked out of him and then never does it again.
And then you got Big Daddy and Hit Girl, and he's shooting her.
Yeah,
that's the introduction to her.
Yeah, she just the dad shooting his kid.
And it's like it'll feel like a punch in the chest. I don't like being punched in the chest.
I don't like being punched in the chest. Well,
yeah, it's like one. What the? And 2, like it just because. And then there's what's D'Amico's kid? What's he call himself? Red Crimson or something dumb?
Oh, Red Mist.
Red Mist.
The Mist.
Yeah, there's Red Mist.
Yeah.
Like, so all these superheroes and
even like D'Amico becomes more villainous as it goes on. Like, like he goes from being like a family man to then like shutting down his kid. You stop seeing him with his family. He starts doing coke.
Yeah.
And he beats the shit out of and then kills a Kick-Ass impersonator.
Yeah, just in the middle of nowhere.
Like, we see him early on, like, he's got his home dojo, but then he starts beating the fuck out of people. He takes the crime, like, way up towards the end because he's like, it's kind of like, it's kind of that idea, like, in the Batman movies and the comics about, like, how Batman existing brings out the worst. Like, the fact that Batman's around taking down small-town criminals means the small-town criminals step up their game and become bigger-time criminals because, like, you know, you need more supervillains in order to combat the superhero. So it kind of works that way, where he goes from being like, seriously, some guy in a wetsuit's kicking the shit out of my dude and stealing my coke, and then like he starts ramping it up, and he's like, all right, well, we're gonna kill a superhero. Let's do this. Like, it starts to the act of people being around ruining his stuff ramps him up more. Yeah,
and that really, I feel like I like that because it means that like as it gets more and more comic booky,
yeah, the world keeps becoming more comic booky as it progresses.
Yeah, I also like how the big thing for Kickass is that he's got a MySpace.
Yeah, that the best part is like you can definitely see like the contrast where D'Amico's kid comes in and says, hey, here's a list of all the things I need in order to become a superhero. And then because he's got money, you can see the contrast between him and Kickass, where his costume's way better and it's like custom made. It's not just a wetsuit. He's got an actual website instead of just a MySpace page. Yeah. And he rolls around with the car. So
whereas Kickass is just like...
Kickass just walking around on foot being like, hey, you seen this cat?
Yeah, you seen this cat? Come on, kitty.
Come on. And then stopping a crime in the process.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's sort of, you're right, it shows the difference, but it also shows like the level of comic booky that it gets. Like Red Mist is the pinnacle of comic book.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He's got the Batmobile, he's got the suit, like he's got all that. Whereas Kickass is just kind of the real world version, you know.
Kickass just kind of has a suit that he wears and two sticks.
He's got 2 sticks and a suit. That's it.
Why do you decide on the 2 sticks as weapons?
Well, I think part of at least the costume design reminds me a lot of Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's what's I don't know if there's any influence there, but it reminds me of Deadpool with the crossed swords on his back.
Yeah.
So it looks kind of like that, where he's going for like the dual weapons, but then it's like, oh, I don't want to kill people, so I'm just gonna get a bit more reach with a stick. You know?
Yeah, I'm like, also maybe it's because the fact that he doesn't know how to fight.
Oh, that comes through so much.
Yeah, but like, so that way he's got at least something to add weight to his blows.
Oh yeah.
But
no, it's definitely just so he has something.
Yeah, I still like the character initially describing himself as like, I'm not even the funny one out of my friends.
No, he's a total loser.
And I just like that though. It really, like, all in all, like, as much as this is a comic book film, it's also a teen film.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And I feel like it merges the difference very well.
Yeah.
And he's like, at one point he starts becoming jealous of himself, jealous of Kickass.
He's sitting there like, oh man, people are super into Kickass and I'm still a loser. The girl I'm into thinks I'm gay and I'm only her friend because of that.
Yeah, and it's like, oh
fuck.
and he's like, kind of, I don't know why he went with that to begin with, but now it's like, I can't get out now.
At that point, you're in too deep, really. Like, how do you stop it?
Yeah, it's like, Jesus, buddy.
As it turns out, though, just show up in the superhero costume. Apparently that works.
Who knows? Maybe we should buy a superhero costume, see how well that'll go.
Maybe we should fight crime, Alex.
What crime?
If Kickass has taught me anything, it's that maybe I should put on a spandex suit and fight crime.
Until you get stabbed and hit by a car?
No, that's when I fucking double down, Alex.
I still like... But, like, the film doesn't take itself seriously.
No.
That's the best part about this. Is that, like, you can tell it doesn't take itself seriously.
There's ridiculous lines interspersed. There's a good chunk of comedy in there. Like, even some good physical comedy elements. Like, when they've got, in the penthouse scene with Hit Girl, like, when they've got her pinned down out of ammo behind the counter. And, like, D'Amico sends in his like, bodyguard, who then walks in... Then walks back, like he goes in, checks out the scene, comes back out, grabs the rocket launcher.
Yeah.
Like, and they say, "You grabbing a fucking bazooka?" Yeah. Yeah, I am. I just saw her throw 2 fucking knives in a guy's face. I'm getting the bazooka.
Yeah.
I'm blowing the fucking penthouse because I don't want to deal with this
The film really fits in with, going back to the whole comic book thing, it fits in. Like, that's the sort of stuff you'd expect to see in some, like, camp. See, that's the thing. Like, in terms of comic book, I feel like this fits in with, like, the sort of, and, like, comic, like, superhero styles. This fits more within, like, 60s Batman than anything else.
A little bit.
It's kind of camp. It's kind of...
I think the most, like, when it gets to peak ridiculousness is definitely at the end with the jetpack.
Yeah.
Like, that, when I see that, I'm just like, wow, this really comes out of left field, and I don't know the point in it. Like, why have they just gone for, like, the Gatling gun jetpack on Kickass of all people? Like, being practically non-violent to then just butchering 3 dudes with 2 miniguns.
But I love it.
It's amazing. Like, it's so cool and ridiculous. But just, I don't know why.
Because you don't just go for kill, you go for overkill.
Ain't no kill like overkill, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly that. And I really feel like this film almost does it because it's so ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Like the microwave, there's the whole that they don't want to talk about the reason why he got found naked.
Yeah.
And his dad's like trying to bring it up and like he's trying to hide the fact that he was like trying to fight crime.
Yeah, in a wetsuit of all things. So he's like, "Oh no, they had to cut my clothes off and throw them away because bleeding to death."
Also, the fact how his mother dies.
Yeah.
He's talking about cereal. His mother just drops on the table.
It's such like, you really don't expect it where she's just sitting there staring off blankly and then just falls down, like head down onto the table. And it's just like, yeah, she died of an aneurysm over breakfast.
Yeah, and I like how he's talking about, they still make Count Chocula. They just don't send it to stores. Yeah. And then like it's like, so yeah, you're not gonna get this tragic backstory. And it cuts to him like
At her grave,
mother.
I will avenge you, mother.
And then it cuts back to him and his dad, who's
They
sitting
changed the face of the bee.
Yeah.
No, it's just back to like the normal life.
Yeah, and
Life just goes on.
I really feel like that's kind of how life is, though.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
It's all mundane, and then it's like something happens, and then it just goes back to the mundane.
Yeah, it doesn't like your life doesn't do a complete change with that trauma. It continues on. You know, you still live with what's there.
They changed the face of the bee.
They change the face on the bee. No, I don't think so.
But my favorite thing though is that it's like the same shot.
Yeah, it's exactly the same
It's
shot,
exactly the
zooming
same
it, same camera movement and everything.
It's exactly the same shot, except Kickass is still in the middle, except with his dad on the left rather than his mum on the right.
Yeah, and his mum's not there. Yeah,
and it's just really bizarre.
It's like 2 shots later. It's
Yeah.
literally like zooming in. She dies. You get the grave, and then it comes back to that. And it's just like, oh fuck.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, his mum died.
It's
but
just like, all right, yeah, she's dead, and it's just life going on, man.
yeah, right. Life goes on.
Although we talked about the ridiculousness of this movie, I gotta give it credit for one thing on accuracy with this. When Big Daddy and Hit Girl come into Kickass's bedroom, and they're like, "Hey, we cleaned up the chaff from your taser."
Yeah,
That's actually something that I thought like, holy shit, they actually like pulled that out. Like they actually acknowledged that. That's like because that's a real thing. Like when you fire a taser, the cartridge is filled with this pocket of like plastic confetti.
yeah.
And on that confetti is printed a serial number. Like all across this confetti is printed the serial
really?
number of that taser cartridge. So whenever they sell them, they take track of who's buying these cartridges and the serial number within. So the point behind that is you can always it's designed to be almost impossible to clean up if you fire it. So if you just check the scene of wherever a taser was fired, you'll be able to find like a single piece of this confetti with the number on it. A suppressor on your taser.
Just get one of the stun guns instead.
Ram taser guy. Well, you can't really do that when you're being pinned down and all that.
That's true.
But yeah, so part of the idea behind it is like for law enforcement, you can always tell like which officer discharged his taser. Yeah. So I thought that was like super accurate. It's just like, oh wow, they actually brought that up because I've never seen a movie acknowledge that.
And then
before.
they also like we retraced your IP address.
Yeah. Not hard when you've just got your MySpace page, you know, that you've signed in with as Kickass.
Yeah, I know.
Like, good job, kid. Didn't even sign up for it at a public library.
That's the funniest bit, isn't it? Like, it's just...
It wasn't hard to find you, ass kick.
Yeah. I still like Big Daddy trying to, like, intimidate Kickass by calling him, like, oh, it's more like ass kick. And it goes like...
Pretty good at getting his ass kicked, you mean? They should call him ass kick.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
No. I really don't like Nicolas Cage's performance in this movie.
Yeah.
Like the last thing I saw him in was Mandy, which I still think is like his best performance he's ever given. So seeing him in this, it's like it feels phoned in at times.
Oh yeah,
There's very little emotion in there. Like there's one line I feel like was well delivered from him, where it's just like, you know who owes her a childhood? Frank D'Amico.
Yeah,
that line is well done.
I feel like they were trying to repress like Nicolas Cage's,
but it's
energy.
Like, yeah, but it's just like it's like he's delivering everything in such a weird way.
Yeah,
and I don't know why. There's no real explanation for why he's talking in such a strange manner, and also his lines are really odd. Like he's constantly like, "Yeah, yes, child, don't worry, child. It will only hurt as much as a punch in the chest." Like that.
Yeah,
it's odd. Like you get what I'm saying. Like
yeah, it's very it's bizarre.
It's like weirdly fatherly, but not.
Yeah, it's as if someone was trying to be your father, but like...
Which in a way he kind of is. Like he's kind of pretending to be your dad in the first place.
Yeah.
Like he didn't raise her for the first 5 years of her life.
Yeah.
And then the time he has been training her to be a murderer.
Yeah, and I feel like that's part of the reason why, obviously, is that like...
Yeah.
I think it's maybe... I wonder if it's like so much for his own like sort of mental... being the fact that he keeps calling her a child, so he reminds himself that she's only a child.
Maybe.
But he also keeps forgetting that at the same time.
Yeah.
My favorite bit's like, can we go bowling? Bowling?
Bowling?
He's like surprised about bowling, like, but she's a kid.
You want for your birthday, you want a puppy?
Yeah, cuddly fluffy one.
Yeah, cuddly fluffy one.
It's like, no, I'm just your dad, fucking with your dad.
I like the performance of the girl who plays Hit Girl though.
Oh, Chloe Grace Moretz.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think she does a great job with that.
Oh yeah, she's one of the better actors in this.
Oh, definitely. Like, she's got a good range there where she's, like, her pretending to be a lost child in, like, the hotel foyer or the penthouse foyer to then being, like, just a total badass in later sequences is really cool.
Yeah, it's Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah.
Yeah, she helps sell this film in terms of, like, the whole Kickass thing.
Yeah.
She helps sell it. Like, as well as, like, the actors in this. Most of the actors in this are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, you got Mark Strong.
Oh, my boy.
You've got the guy who plays Kickass. What's his name again? I always forget.
It's Aaron something.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That's it.
Who later goes on to be in another superhero film.
Which one was that?
He's Quicksilver in Age
of
Ultron.
Oh, fuck, yes, he is Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, you got Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who's really good in this.
Christopher Mintz-Plasse. He's
yeah.
great.
He is. He's really good. He like helps sell the whole like I'm a nervous kid who's like trying to fulfill
I'm an asshole.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, what's going on? It's you've also got the other guy who plays I forget. Okay, so the weird thing about Kick-Ass for me is it's got both Quicksilvers in it.
Oh fuck yeah, because one of his best friends is
the other
X-Men Quicksilver, and he's Age of Ultron
Quicksilver.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Those two before they were cool.
Yeah, I kind of forgotten about this.
Well, one of them was cool.
I kind of forgot about it, and then I looked up the other one. I'm like, what did I see the other one in? And then I was like, Evan Peters.
It was familiar.
Yeah, he plays Quicksilver.
Huh.
They both play Quicksilver.
Huh, that's cool.
But yeah, so like it's sort of one of those ones where the cast really fits in with what they're talking about. They're both like that dumb teen.
Oh yeah.
They're all like, yeah. I think it's just got that right balance of like weird teen film and superheroes like just chucked in it.
Yeah.
Like, if I'd have to describe it, like I'd describe Kick-Ass almost as a superhero movie, but at the same time, I'd almost describe Kick-Ass as a teen drama. That just has superheroes in it.
I always like these kind of. It's very similar to Have you ever seen the movie Super?
No.
Okay, so it's kind of got like they both take very different directions with it. I find, but it's always interesting to see like not like nobody picks up the mantle of being a superhero.
Oh wait, is
like
Super the one where those like? Is it like the found footage one where they become superheroes?
No, that's Chronicle.
Okay.
Super is the one with the guy who plays Dwight from The Office. And Kevin Bacon steals his wife, or quote like in his mind steals his wife. So he becomes like a superhero in order to get her back. It's got Ellen Page in it.
Oh really? This sounds a bizarre film.
Yeah. He basically goes around murdering people with a wrench.
I have heard of Super. It's directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I have heard of this. Yeah.
At one point, he just bludgeons a man half to death in a line for movie tickets with a fucking wrench or a hammer. Yeah, he's just like he's like it's the idea of like upholding the law despite the cost, that kind of thing, like lawful evil. Where a guy cuts in line at the movies, so he just walks off, then comes back in the like costume and then beats the fuck out of him with a hammer. And just like hospitalizes this guy.
Wow, that sounds like way more violent than Kick-Ass.
It's definitely way more like morbid for sure.
Jesus.
Yeah.
This Wikipedia article just has
Michael Rook is in it, who I fucking love.
In the Wikipedia article, it's got a subheading for similarity to Kick-Ass.
There you go. Yeah, it came out a little bit after, I think, but there's definitely some similarities. Definitely, it's not a teen movie by any means, though. Like,
Kick-Ass is based on a comic book.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I feel like it's one of those ones where like it does it really well.
Yeah,
where like it sort of straddles the line. But I really enjoyed Kick-Ass. Yeah, honestly.
I gotta say, Hit Girl's probably the most badass character in this movie.
Kick-Ass is a joke.
Kick-Ass is a fucking dumbass, but
Red Mist is a joke. Half of these characters are jokes, and it's what makes the film great. Is that there's one decent one, the rest are like kind of just joking.
Yeah, one of them dies, the other's a total badass. Everyone else is shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're all just fucking about, and they're like, yeah, all right, we're superheroes, and they're like, what?
There's some really cool shootouts in this with her, like like in the final sequence with the like double pistol reloading, like the flip cut, like the like mag throw to reload is super fucking dope.
The other one I love is when the guy pulls out the knife in like the apartment.
Yeah, he whips out his butterfly knife, so she whips out hers.
She's like doing like the
Way
flip for longer, and
yeah.
he's like, I got one. And he's like,
I have just one just like that. And whips out hers, and he's kind of taken back by it.
And then he just throws it into his forehead.
Yeah. There's also the Modern Warfare 2 like first person night vision thing where she's sitting there with like the knife up, just like, and it's all in first person with the goggles. So it's all in this, which I actually really thought was cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this film which is really well done. I think apart from like Nicolas Cage's acting, there's not a lot sort of like obviously bad.
No, it's not really. Like everyone else is kind of playing it pretty straight.
Yeah.
Like and sure enough, there's a lot of like kind of like comedic talk in there, but I feel like it's got that sort of grounding in reality.
Yeah, it's
where even like let's say Mark Strong's character talking to like his henchman and his son, where they're just like, yeah, but who am I going to throw under the bus? What about Tony? Yeah, Tony's an asshole. Like that kind of thing. And they're just like, back and forth is really fucking funny.
What about Joe? Oh, we can't do this.
No, we can't do this to Joe. What about Tony? Oh, yeah, Tony's an asshole. Tony? All right, Tony.
Yeah. So they throw Tony under the bus.
Fucking chuck him under the bus and arrest him.
Yeah. And I love that, though. It really fits in. Like the fact that they're like, oh, we're trying to infiltrate, so we got to do something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film.
No, I definitely love it. Do we want to wrap up this one?
Yeah, I think just wrap it up there.
Yeah, we'll do a quick one since Alex is still wrecked from his week off at PAX.
Yeah, my voice is I've come down with PAX pox a little.
Yeah,
my voice decided to take a holiday.
So hopefully next week I'll be feeling better, as next week we'll be doing one of Alex's favorites. I've known this since like high school, where you've talked about it a lot, and I still haven't actually seen this movie yet, so this will be fun. We're doing Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah, I forgot what film we were doing for a second. I was like, you're like Alex's pick. I was like, I don't remember which one of this is. Yeah, it actually bothers me that you haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Not in its entirety. That it's another one of those movies where it's like it's a classic that I know I should like. It's been on my list for about 6 years.
Yeah,
where I know I should have seen it, and I keep like passing up the opportunity to see it. So that's.
Have you seen Breakfast Club?
Yes.
I haven't.
Well, there you go. We could probably do Breakfast Club someday.
They're both John Hughes films.
Yeah. So that's why that's the great thing about Mike's Camera Action, and why I like doing this show, because we get to experience new movies, Alex. We get to
even though they've been out for longer than I've been born.
Exactly. No, but we get to do we get to do all those movies that I've wanted to watch but never have.
Yeah.
So that's what we'll be doing next week. Until then, catch y'all.